Today we discussed about the plus 1 biology part, chapter 6, anatomy of flowering plants. Flowering plants means angiosperms. The internal structure of angiosperm plant. That is the meaning of anatomy of flowering plants. First we discussed about the tissue. What is the tissue? What is the meaning of tissue? Tissue is a group of cells with a common origin, structure and function. The definition of tissue is, it is a group of cells with common origin. It origin from a particular space with the same structure and same function. The study of tissue is called histology. Next, meristematic tissue. What is meristem and the properties of meristematic tissues? At the tip of root and stem and some other parts we can see meristematic tissues. The growth in plants restricted to specialized region. The growth of plants restricted to specialized region of active cell division called meristem. The properties of meristems. They consist of immature and undifferentiated. Immature and undifferentiated. Undifferentiated means there is no cell differentiation occurs. Cells without intercellular space. That means the cells are compactly arranged. These meristematic cells are round, oval or polygonal in structure. All parenchymatous meristematic tissues are living and cell wall is thin. Cells has abundant cytoplasm. That means rich of cytoplasm. Cytoplasm means nucleus plus the cell content. The protoplasm without nucleus is known as cytoplasm. The cell has abundant cytoplasm and a prominent or large nucleus. Vacuoles, cell vacuoles. The cell organelle, cell vacuoles may be small or absent. Then there are mainly three different types of meristematic tissues. They are first apical meristem, second intercalary meristem and then lateral meristem. The apical meristem usually seen in root tip and stem tip. Function of apical meristem, growth in length of plants and branches. That means the growth of root and stem and branches. Second type of meristematic tissue, intercalary meristem. The location at the base of leaves. The part in which the leaves are attached to stem. That is the basal part of leaf. At the base of the leaves or at the base of the internode. What is internode? If we draw a picture, these are nodal region. The space in between two nodal region is known as internodal region. Usually leaves, buds, etc. are arise from nodal region. The intercalary meristem at the base of the leaf or at the base of internodal region. These are the base of internodal region. These are the base of internodal region. Function of intercalary meristem include internodal growth. In monocots, growth of leaf lamina in grass. If we draw the structure of leaf lamina, this is the leaf of a grass or monocot, and this is the basal part of leaf lamina. Here we can see intercalary meristematic tissues. Next, lateral meristem. Cambium between xylem and phloem. If we draw a dicot stem, vascular bundle. This is the picture of a dicot stem vascular bundle. Here we can see phloem cells and here xylem. These are the xylem vessels. In between the phloem and the xylem we can see elongated meristematic tissue, that is known as cambium. Lateral meristem usually seen in cambium, that is in between xylem and phloem. Cambium in cortex of dicot plants. Function: growth in thickness of plant body. At the time of secondary growth, this meristematic tissue actively divided and form secondary phloem towards outer region and secondary xylem towards the inner region. We can study the secondary growth of plants in details. Next topic, permanent tissues. Permanent tissues. What is permanent tissue? The tissue which growth has stopped either completely or for the time being. Permanent tissues are the tissues which growth has stopped either completely or the time being. Usually all permanent tissues are arise from meristematic cells. After cell differentiation and maturation, parenchymatous cells differentiated to different types of permanent tissues. The tissues which growth has stopped either completely or for time being. Then cells may be living or dead. Some of the permanent tissues are living, some of them are dead. Thin-walled or thick-walled. Thin-walled or thick-walled. Then types of permanent tissues. There are two types of permanent tissues: simple permanent tissues and complex permanent tissues. Simple permanent tissues is made up of only one type of cells. Only one type of cells. Simple permanent tissue made up of only one type of cells. But in case of complex permanent tissues, the complex permanent tissue made up of more than one type of cells working together as a unit. Example, xylem and phloem are examples of complex tissues. We can see different types of cells working together, performing a particular function. The function of xylem, conduction of water and minerals, and the function of phloem, conduction of food materials. First, simple permanent tissues. There are different types of simple permanent tissues. First, parenchyma tissue. They may be spherical, oval, round, polygonal or elongated. There are different shapes in case of parenchymatous tissue. The walls of parenchyma cells are made up of cellulose, usually cellulose. They are closely packed without intercellular spaces, having small if have space, it is very small. Usually the parenchymatous cells are compactly arranged. If there is a space, it may be very little. Function of parenchymatous cells include photosynthesis, storage, secretion, etc. Some parenchymatous cells with chloroplasts. So, they help for photosynthesis in case of leaves and tender stem parts. In some parenchymatous cells, they store reserve food. Example, in case of tubers, the secretion. There are lot of secretions are seen in plants. Some alkaloids, mucilage, etc. etc. Some parenchymatous cells helps for such secretions. You can use this brief note for your examination purpose. Then next, simple permanent tissue, that is collenchyma. These collenchyma cells are seen below the epidermis. You can see this is the epidermis. Usually collenchyma cells are seen below the epidermis. It is found either as homogeneous layer or as patches. Usually collenchyma cells are homogeneously distributed, but in some cases some patches are seen. Cells with thickened corners, the parenchyma cells with thickened corners. These are the corners. In case of this is the parenchyma, but in case of collenchyma, the corners become thickened. By the deposition of cellulose, hemicellulose and pectin. The corners are thickened with cellulose, hemicellulose and pectin like substances. The property of pectin is, by the presence of water, it becomes turned to mucilage. The collenchyma cells are usually oval, spherical or polygonal in structure. Some collenchyma cells with a chloroplast. The function, mechanical support, because these thickened edges make strength. So, the main function of collenchyma is mechanical support to growing part, such as young stem and petiole of leaf. Petiole means this is the petiole. The stalk of the leaf is known as petiole. Next, sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma cells. There are different types of sclerenchyma cells are seen. Sclerenchyma consists of long, narrow cells with thick and lignified cells. Lignin is very tough material. They usually dead cells. They are usually dead cells. Sclerenchyma cells are usually dead cells without protoplasm. The cells without protoplasm. There is no nucleus and cytoplasm. The sclerenchyma may be fibrous or scleroid. This is the fiber and this is the scleroid. Fibers thick walled, elongated and pointed end. Occurring groups, example coconut fiber. Then the scleroids are spherical or irregular in structure, highly thickened dead cells, narrow lumen. This is the lumen. Narrow lumen, example wall of nuts, pulp of guava, pear and sapota. The stony scleroids are seen in the coconut shell also. Next, complex tissues, permanent complex tissues. There are two types of complex tissues, xylem and phloem. The xylem and phloem form a continuous system inside the plants from root to leaves. It is a continuous system. They are conductive tissues. They are conductive tissues because xylem carry water and minerals from roots to leaves and phloem conduct metabolites, example food, from leaves to other parts. Leaf usually prepare food by the process of photosynthesis. Then we can study more about xylem and phloem, the conductive tissues. Here is a column. In case of xylem, only there are 4 types of cells compactly arranged, and these 4 different types of cells perform single function. They grouped together and perform single function. And also here is 4 types of different cells in case of phloem also. The function of xylem is conduction of water and minerals, and the phloem, the function is conduction of food materials. In case of xylem, the tracheids, vessels, fibers and parenchyma. Here only one living cell. In this group, only one living cell in case of xylem. 3 of them are dead cells. In case of phloem, only one dead cell, fiber and other 3 of them are living cells. You can study detailed about xylem and phloem, the complex tissues. Next, the tissue systems. First, we can learn about epidermal tissue system. It is the outermost layer of stem and root. epidermal tissue system. Epidermal tissue comprises epidermal cells, stomata, hairs or trichomes. The epidermal tissue consists of epidermal cells, stomata. This is the picture of stomata. This is the dicot stomata and this is monocot stomata. The epidermal tissue system comprises epidermal cells, stomata and hairs or trichomes. We can see this is the epidermal layer. Here we can see the hairs or trichomes. In case of leaves and tender green stem parts, the epidermal cells with stomata also. You can see epidermal cells with stomata also. In tender parts, that is greenish part, and in case of leaves, stomata are seen. Then single layered epidermal cells and trichomes or hairs are usually seen in epidermal tissue systems. Epidermis is made up of elongated, compactly arranged, single layered parenchyma cells with a small amount of cytoplasm. This is the epidermal layer. The property include they are elongated, compactly arranged without intercellular space, single layered parenchyma cells, small amount of cytoplasm, with a small amount of cytoplasm. Sometimes waxy coating or cuticle present in case of monocots, and some xerophytic condition, the plants with thick cuticle. The cuticle is a waxy coating present on epidermal layer. It is absent in roots. Usually the cuticle is absent in case of roots. Cuticle prevent the loss of water. Stomata seen on epidermis. Stomata seen in epidermis, especially in leaves. Helps for gaseous exchange, that is the exchange of carbon dioxide and oxygen, and transpiration. Transpiration means the evaporation of excess water through the stomata is known as transpiration. Then next topic, structure of stomata. There are two types of stomata. This is dicot stomata and this is monocot stomata, usually seen in leaves. In dicot, in case of dicot, guard cells are bean shaped. Two guard cells are bean shaped. But in monocots, it is dumbbell shaped. The guard cells are dumbbell shaped. Subsidiary cells seen around the guard cells. This is the subsidiary cells around the guard cell. Epidermal cells seen outside the subsidiary cells. These are the epidermal cells seen outside this layer. That is subsidiary layer. Stomatal pore seen on the center. The only difference between dicot and monocot stomata, the structure of guard cell. In this case, it is bean shaped and this is dumbbell shaped. Then root hairs. We can discuss about root hairs. Root hairs are unicellular in case of roots, but multicellular in case of shoots. Root hairs absorb water and minerals from soil. Trichomes are multicellular, branched or unbranched, soft or stiff, may even secretory hairs. Trichomes are multicellular, branched or unbranched, soft or stiff, may even secretory hairs that are usually seen in shoot system. All tissues except epidermis and vascular bundle. These are the vascular bundles and the outermost layer is the epidermis. All tissues except epidermis and vascular bundles constitute ground tissue. It consists of parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. The ground tissue consists of parenchyma, collenchyma or sclerenchyma. Parenchyma cells usually present in cortex, pericycle, pith and medullary rays. Medullary rays are these are medullary rays. Medullary rays seen in between the bundles, vascular bundles. Here we can see these are the structure. Here we can see medullary rays. They are parenchyma cells usually present in cortex, pericycle and pith and medullary rays in leaves, in case of leaves. In case of leaves, this is dicot and a monocot leaf. In case of leaves, ground tissue consists of thin-walled with chloroplast containing cells called mesophyll. All ground tissues include the layer in between epidermis and vascular bundles. It consists of, that is ground tissue consists of parenchyma, collenchyma and also sclerenchyma. Parenchyma cells usually present in cortex, pericycle, pith and medullary rays. In case of leaves, the ground tissue consists of thin-walled chloroplast containing cells called mesophyll. Next, we study about dicot root. This is the picture of dicot root and this is monocot root. First we study detail about dicot root. The epiblema, the outermost layer of root is known as epiblema, but in case of stem it is known as epidermis. In case of roots, the outermost layer is known as epiblema. Epiblema, thin-walled outermost layer with unicellular root hairs. Root hairs are unicellular. Cortex, in between the vascular tissue and epiblema. These are the cortex tissue. Homogeneous parenchymatous. All cells are same in structure. So, they are known as homogeneous. Homogeneous parenchyma cells, the function storing of food and water. The cortex homogeneous, parenchymatous, store food and water. Endodermis. This is the barrel cells. Endodermis. Endodermis, the innermost layer of cortex. Endodermis is the innermost layer of cortex. Endodermis included in cortex. Endodermis included in cortex region. innermost layer of cortex with Casparian strips. If we draw the picture, here we can see Casparian strips. The endodermis with the Casparian strips control water entering into xylem. It is a controlling system. It controls the entry of much amount of water into xylem. It controls water entering into xylem. Next layer, pericycle. Pericycle is the part of stellar region. Pericycle is a part of stellar region, but endodermis is the part of cortex. Below the endodermis we can see the pericycle region. Inner to endodermis, single layered. Pericycle is usually single layered seat of origin of lateral roots. The branches, that means lateral roots, usually originate from the pericycle. That is one special point. In case of roots, that may be dicot or monocot. Usually the branches are seen in dicot roots. The innermost layer of epidermis, endodermis, is pericycle single layered seat of origin of lateral roots. That is the branch of root. Vascular cambium and cork cambium. That is in case of secondary growth. We can study detailed about the secondary growth structure of root and stem. Dicot root and dicot stem. Usually secondary growth is seen in dicot roots and dicot stems. Then here is the note for reference. The vascular bundle of dicot root. This is the stellar region with the vascular bundles. The vascular bundles consist of xylem and phloem, that two types of conductive tissues. Vascular bundles of dicot root. Xylem alternate with the phloem. Xylem alternate with the phloem. That means radial arrangement. Xylem alternate with the phloem, that means they arrange radially. That is known as radial arrangement of xylem and phloem, that is seen in roots. Protoxylem towards the periphery. Protoxylem usually seen on peripheral region. The large xylem vessels known as metaxylem and the smaller one known as protoxylem. In case of roots, the protoxylem, that is small xylem vessels arranged towards periphery. Such type of arrangement is known as exarch. The protoxylem towards the periphery, that means exarch style of arrangement. Here, in case of dicot root, 2 to 6 patches of xylem vessels seen. Here we can see 4 patches. Usually the xylem vessels are 2 to 6 patches. Here we can see 4 patches of xylem vessels. Xylem polygonal, that means with edges, polygonal in shape. This is the structure of polygonal in structure. Xylem vessels are polygonal in structure. Next, pith. Pith, that is the midlest part or innermost part. It is reduced or absent, usually absent or reduced. That is the case of dicot root. Conjunctive parenchyma. Conjunctive parenchyma, cells in between xylem and phloem. The cells in between xylem and phloem is known as conjunctive parenchyma. Conjunctive parenchyma, usually parenchymatous. Next, monocot root. The properties of monocot root. Epiblemma, that is the outermost layer. Single layered with unicellular root hairs. This is the structure of monocot root. Cortex. Cortex part. Homogeneous. Parenchyma store food and water. The cortex with homogeneous cells, that is usually parenchymatous. Endodermis. It is the innermost layer of cortex. Epidermis, the innermost layer of cortex with Casparian strips. These Casparian strips helps for control the water flow to the xylem vessels. All the tissues inner to the endodermis constitute stellar region. What is stellar region? All the tissues inner to the endodermis. All the tissues inner to the endodermis constitute stellar region or stele. Next layer below to endodermis is pericycle, single layered. Then lateral roots originate from this layer. Vascular bundles that constitute xylem and phloem arranged radially. That means alternately. Xylem and phloem arranged alternately. That is known as alternate type of arrangement. Protoxylem towards periphery and metaxylem towards the center. That means exarch. Exarch means protoxylem towards the periphery. And polyarch. That means the xylem vessels, the arrangement of xylem vessels, that is numerous, from 6 to 12 in numbers. But in case of dicot, it restricts 2 to 6. But in case of monocot, it is 6 to 12 in number. The xylem vessels are 6 to 12 in numbers. Next, difference between dicot and monocot root. Difference between dicot and monocot root. First character, number of vascular bundles, that is xylem and phloem. In case of dicots, that is 2 to 6, but in monocots it is polyarch. That means many in number. Usually 6 to 12 in number. Pericycle, that is seat of origin of lateral roots. Vascular and cork cambium, etc. are seen in dicot root. But in monocot root, seat of origin of lateral roots only. There is no secondary thickening, so there is no vascular cork and vascular cambium arranged in secondary thickening case. There is no secondary thickening case in monocot root. But in dicot roots, example in case of jackfruit tree, banyan tree, mango tree, etc. secondary thickening is usually seen in roots. Cambium present in case of dicot. But in case of monocot, cambium ring is absent. Secondary growth present in dicot root and absent in monocot root. Pith reduced in case of dicot and large pith region seen in monocot root. Next topic, origin of lateral root that usually seen in dicot root, that is the branch. The seat of its origin is pericycle. The seat of origin of lateral root is pericycle, that below the endodermis. The lateral roots are arise from pericycle region. Endogenous, that from deeper layers. The lateral roots are endogenous in origin, that means it forms from deeper layer, that from pericycle region. So it is known as endogenous in origin. Lateral roots are endogenous in origin, where cells opposite to the protoxylem divide and form a hump in epidermis. We can study detail in next part. The hump penetrates into the cortex. Here is a hump is formed and this hump is developed through the cortex and emerged outside. Later the hump differentiated into three regions: dermatogen, peribulum and pleroma. Finally the lateral roots come out. The lateral roots arise from pericycle as a hump of cells. It penetrates to the cortex and emerge out. The number of lateral roots corresponding to the number of xylem bundles. In this case, we can expect 4 lateral roots, because here is 4 xylem vessels. The number of lateral roots, that is branches, corresponding to the number of xylem bundles. Here we can expect 4 lateral roots. Here we can see the development of lateral root. The origin from pericycle region. It is endogenous in origin because it arises from deep layer, that is from pericycle, where cells opposite to the protoxylem This is the protoxylem, where cells opposite to the protoxylem divide and form a hump. This is the hump formation. In the endodermis, the hump penetrates to the cortex. Then later come differentiated into 3 layers and penetrate out from the epiblema. Big function of stem. There are 2 types of functions, primary and secondary function. The primary function of stem include support to other parts, orient leaves, conduct water and minerals, bear flowers and fruits. The secondary function of stem include storage of preserved food, pollination, climbing, protection, photosynthesis and vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation means vegetative reproduction from vegetative parts. Next, internal structure of dicot stem. This is the ground diagram, and this is the detailed internal structure of dicot stem. The first layer, epidermis, single layered with the cuticle and multicellular. Next, cortex. This is the cortex part. This part is differentiated into three. First, cortex part beneath epidermis is hypodermis. It is 4 to 6 layers of cells. Function mechanical support, usually parenchymatous cells. Middle layer. Inner to the middle layer, that is endodermis. The middle layer, few layers of parenchymatous, and the endodermis is the innermost layer of cortex with the passage cells, barrel shaped Casparian strips. This is the endodermis with the passage cells that allow water, then barrel shaped cells with the Casparian strips that restrict the overflow of water. Next, stellar region. The stellar region starts from pericycle. It is multi-layered parenchymatous with patches of sclerenchyma. Pericycle, multi-layered parenchymatous with patches of sclerenchyma. Next, vascular bundles arranged in a ring. Vascular bundles arranged in a ring. In vascular bundle, xylem and phloem arranged in a bundle. Xylem and phloem, this is phloem, this is xylem. Xylem and phloem arranged in a bundle. This type of vascular bundle is known as conjoined. Conjoined type of vascular bundles, and xylem and phloem on same radius. Xylem and phloem in same radius. That is known as collateral. Protoxylem towards the center. Protoxylem towards the center, and metaxylem towards the periphery. Protoxylem towards the center. So this type of xylem is known as endark. Endark type of xylem. Medullary rays. Medullary rays, parenchymatous. Medullary rays are situated in between vascular bundles. They are usually parenchymatous cells between vascular bundles. Pith. This is the pith region. Pith, central parenchymatous zone. Next, internal structure of monocot stem. This is ground diagram and this detailed diagram. Epidermis. Epidermis single layered, covered with thick cuticle. Hairs absent. Hairs absent. Then ground tissue. This is the ground tissue. A mass of parenchymatous tissue. A mass of parenchymatous tissue. Few layers of sclerenchyma tissue present in hypodermis. Few layers of hypodermis also seen, that is sclerenchymatous. Then vascular bundles. Bundles are collateral, arranged in same bundle. Closed. Closed means no cambial strips present in between xylem and phloem. Here we can see cambium. in dicot, but in case of monocot stem there is no cambium at all. So this type of vascular bundles are known as closed type of vascular bundles without cambium. Endark, protoxylem towards the center and metaxylem on periphery. That means endark. And the xylem vessels arranged in shape of Y or V. Here we can see V shaped. In some cases it like Y shaped. Water cavity or lacuna. Here usually seen a water cavity or lacuna present. Sclerenchymatous bundle sheet. Sclerenchymatous bundle sheet encloses whole vascular bundles. Next topic, secondary growth in stem. Secondary growth in stem. In dicot stem and root we can see secondary thickening, but in case of monocot stem and roots there is no secondary thickening seen. The secondary growth in stem. Activity of vascular cambium. Activity of vascular cambium. The fascicular cambium, that means cambium between vascular bundles. This is fascicular cambium, cambium between xylem and phloem. The vascular cambium, cambium between vascular bundles, and interfascicular cambium. Here in the medullary phase, some of the cells become active and act as cambium. This cambium is known as interfascicular cambium, that means in between the vascular bundles. Fascicular cambium means the cambium cells in between xylem and phloem of vascular bundle, and interfascicular cambium means the cambium cells arise in between the vascular bundles, that means in medullary part. Then this fascicular and interfascicular cambium join to form a ring. Join to the fascicular and interfascicular cambium join to form a cambium ring. Cambium ring produce secondary xylem towards the center and secondary phloem towards the periphery or outside. Next, activity of cork cambium, that is beneath the epidermal part. In dicot, there are two types of secondary thickening seen. First, we already discussed in second type of secondary thickening arise below the epidermal region. Activity of cork cambium, that means activity of cork cambium. Cork cambium or phellogen develop in the cortex. One type of cambium, that means phellogen, form below the epidermal layer. Cork cambium or phellogen develop in cortex. The phellogen develops in the cortex and divides and adds cell on both inner and outside. This phellogen, active phellogen, produce cells towards the inner part and outer part. Inner side is known as phellodome. The phellogen produce cells inner to inner side is known as phellodome or secondary cortex, and The phallogen produce cell's outer part is known as phallum. Once more, the phallogen that produce in the cortex region beneath the epidermis, it activate and produce cells inside and outside. The active part is known as phallogen. Phallogen produce cells inside or inner part is known as phalloderm or secondary cortex, and outer part is known as phallum or cork. Cork cells, that is the outermost part, cork cells are completely arranged and become dead cells. Later, this outer part, that is cork, become dead cells. And in cork cells, the suberin like materials deposited, and the lenticels are also formed. Lenticels are also formed in cork. Lenticels are small pores on cork. Help for gaseous exchange. Lenticels helps for gaseous exchange. Phallogen, phalloderm and phallum, the three layers transform and constitute perioderm. The three layers constitute perioderm. Bark is the dead cells laying outside the active phallogen. Next word, wood. Wood is the secondary xylem that form the inner part from the cambial ring. Wood is the secondary xylem produced by the activity of vascular cambium in dicot stem. Next, anal rings. What is anal rings? Predetecting the age of a tree by counting the anal growth ring is called dendrochronology. Predicting the age of a tree by counting the anal growth ring is called dendrochronology. The wood formed during spring is called early wood and or spring wood. In summer, the cambium is less active and form narrow xylem vessels. This wood is called late wood or summer wood. The wood formed during spring is called early wood or spring wood. In summer, cambium is less active. This cambium is less active and form narrow xylem vessels. This wood is called late wood or summer wood. These two kind of wood in a transverse view appear as alternative concentric rings. Together form an anal ring. That means in an anal ring there is two rings. One the spring wood part and one summer wood part. Next, sapwood and hardwood. What is sapwood and hardwood? Recently formed secondary xylem having some living cell is called sapwood, and the inner cell of sapwood become non-functional and dark in color, constitute hardwood. Hardwood not conduct water, so it is durable, and sapwood help for conducting water and minerals. Next, difference between dicot and monocot leaf. This is dicot leaf and this is monocot leaf. Dicot leaf is also known as dorsiventral leaf and monocot isobilateral leaves. The epidermis. We can compare these two types of leaves, dicot and monocot. The epidermis. Epidermis. This is the epidermis. Occur generally in lower epidermis. The stomata usually seen in case of dipod in lower epidermal region. In dipod case, stomata usually seen in lower epidermis. In case of dipods, there is no bulliform cells are arranged. But in monopod cells, differentiate into palisade. But in monopods, occur both the upper and lower part. Stomata can see. Stomata arranged in upper and lower epidermis in case of monopod leaves, but in dipods, stomata only occur in lower epidermis. In dipods, there is no bulliform cells are arranged, but in monopods, we can see bulliform cells. Here we can see the bulliform cell of monopod leaf. Bulliform cell on upper epidermis. But in dipods there is no bulliform cells at all. Then next, mesophyll. Differentiated into palisade and spongy in case of dipod leaf, but in monopod only spongy parenchyma is seen. In vascular system of dipod and monopod stem. The vascular system of dipod leaf in the form of network from middle to side, size decreases. This is the middle and this is the side portion. The size decreases. In monopod leaf, the middle one is larger and others are in same size. Then what is bulliform cells? These are special type of motor cells found on upper leaf surface of monopod leaves, usually in grasses, maize, bajra and jowar. The bulliform cell helps leaves roll. The bulliform or motor cells helps for leaf rolling when water loss due to high rate of transpiration. Transpiration means evaporation of water through stomata. The leaf rolling usually seen in midday on hot sunny days. Next, hydathode. These are hydathodes. Hydathodes are specialized structures present on leaf of some angiosperms. Example, garden nasturtium. Garden nasturtium occurring in humid climate. Through this opening, excretion of water, that means exudation of water and minerals plus simple organic compounds in a liquid form. The exudation of mix of water coming out through this pore is known as guttation. Once more, hydathodes are a special type of tissues present on leaf of some angiosperms occurring in humid climate. The exudation occurring humid climate. Through this opening, excretion of water and minerals plus simple organic compounds in liquid form exudate outside is known as guttation. Here we can learn points for examination purpose. You can utilize this simple and condensed note. Now this lesson is over. If you like this class, please like, share and subscribe.